Today, The Guardian has been awarded by the Greenaccord International Media Award. What are the biggest difficulties for journalists looking for environmental issues?
Well, I'm delighted to accept the award on behalf of The Guardian. It's really important now to have this kind of recognition and support because it is a difficult time to be an environmental journalist. It's becoming a more important story, and yet newspaper industry as a whole, the media industry as a whole, is struggling with financing and resources. And also it's up against hostile governments in some countries. It's also up against a public that in some cases is very skeptical about science and experts and people telling them what to do. And that's natural in some ways because the message, getting the tone right is the hardest thing, because we do face a series of crises, but they're crises that can be solved. So you need to have a tone that can raise the alarm, but also leave people with hope and a way out of the problems that we face.
Newspapers in all the world are increasingly dependent on large industrial groups and big advertising investors. Is it still possible to make independent information free from pressures?
Well, I think all newspapers, all media organizations have to get their funding from somewhere. That's a fact. At The Guardian, we have a somewhat unusual model in that we don't have shareholders, we don't have an owner, and our priority, because we're a trust, is to continue what we're doing, which is to promote liberal values. That said, you need money to be able to do good journalism. So we have to try to be creative. We want our content to remain free for as long as possible. And so in our case, we're trying to raise funds through a membership system, through voluntary contributions. And yes, we would still like advertising revenues. That's important. But it is becoming harder to get that money because Google and Facebook are sucking up lots of that kind of money. So we are also looking at big donations from charitable foundations. So we have, for example, Global Development, which is funded by the Gates Foundation. We have the Cities section, which is funded by the Rockefeller Foundation. And they are helping us do a lot more journalism. So we have to be more creative to be able to do what we think we need to do.